Wylie Sachse Murphy. Why do we refer to 3 cities and 3 towns all bunched into one? The answer is they sort of together create this very cool community to the northeast of Dallas, kind of east of Richardson, southeast of Plano, west of Lake Lavon in Nevada, southwest of Farmersville, north-ish of Garland. It's a cool area with about everything you could need. So if you're local and you haven't been out to the Wylie Sachse Murphy area for a while, Wylie's your east edge, Murphy's the north, and then Sachse's kind of south of Murphy and west of Wylie, closest in, right on the edge of East Richardson, the Breckenridge area, right along Murphy Road, actually. That southern edge of most of what we're talking about is basically 78. Now, there's some Sachse south of 78, especially some of the bigger properties. And then you got Wylie to the east that's kind of bordered almost by 2 lakes. And then you got Murphy to the north that borders Parker and, Murphy to the south and Plano to the west and the lake to the east. So all that to say, this area sort of bleeds together. You don't always know exactly when you've left one and entered the other. I mean, there's signage, but the communities feel very similarly and the school districts kind of overlap. So depending on where you live in Sachse, you could be in Wylie schools or Garland schools. Depending on where you live in Wylie, you might be in one Wylie school or another Wylie school. And depending on where you live in Murphy, you could be in Plano schools or Wylie school. You have some Dallas County and you have some Collin County. These are really 3 similar areas, but there are some differences. There's some older areas that certainly have unique custom properties on larger acreage lots. And then you have a very large master planned community that runs all the way through Wylie and Sachse. And then you have some significant, really nice master planned, or at least pretty planned, nice neighborhoods in the Murphy area that are very, very in demand, like Maxwell Creek and some others over there. Woodbridge and Sachse and Wylie and many others. So diverse real estate community, diverse ethnic community, diverse food culture, diverse shopping opportunities. Sachse's got a little bit of everything, some old stuff, some new stuff. Wylie's got some old stuff, some new stuff. Murphy feels mostly new, but there's a little bit of old stuff there too. Acreage property, very common in all 3, but also these big master plan communities, these big neighborhoods with beautiful lots of neighborhood amenities, tennis courts, swimming pools, hike and bike, walking trails, creek trails, all that good stuff. So Wylie Sachse Murphy, very, very cool place to live. Great location if you're on the Dallas side of things. You can get just about anywhere within that 30 to 45 minute period. But also, home values tend to do really well there. So what we've been doing the last couple of years is really trying to educate the local DFW folks on the uniqueness of each of these pockets. And then if you're from out of town, if you're catching the radio show, the podcast, or YouTube video, we're just letting you know how great different parts of the area are. So let me give you kind of a 2020 through 2025 look at Wylie Sachse and Murphy from the homes on land perspective, okay? So 2020, your average property over an acre in the Wylie Sachse Murphy area was about $432,000. And it was taking about 81 days to sell. The following year, that price went from $432 to $731.
No.
And days on market came down about a week. The following year, slower growth. We went from $731 to $752. And days to sell went up about 30 days from 73 to 105. Okay. Now, check this out. From 21 to 22, a lot of areas really dipped around here. Some of them were flat. We went from 731 in Wylie Sachse Murphy for a 1 acre plus property to 752. So we still went up a decent bit. Now the following year, things changed rapidly. We went from 752 down to 640. This is for a 1 acre plus property. These averages are not all that telling because it could have been 1 acres or 9 acres.
But why would it dip?
Because mortgage rates.
Oh.
That's the primary reason that 22 and 23 had such stark differences is the amount of buying went way down. Mm-hmm. People were buying a little bit less property and they were buying with a little bit less buying power. Days on market, though, went down from 105 to 64. So kind of jumping all over. Then from 23 to 24, we went from 640 to 549. Big drop. went from 64 days on market up to 72 days on market. So this is following a lot of the trends in the area. And again, these numbers are more erratic because it's an average of a much broader property type. We're just saying literally over an acre. So it's a giant category. So don't panic about the drops, but it's showing you a broad category. And then what happened in 2025, Courtney? We've seen almost all of our other numbers from 24 to 25 to be pretty significant drops. And we've cautioned people to not trust those numbers because it's just the first part of 2025. Wylie Sachse Murphy in the last year went from 549 back up to 706.
Wow.
And I think by the end of the year, it'll be up even more than that.
Would you like the properties in Wylie Sachse Murphy under an acre?
I would love to hear that.
In 2020, we had an average close price of just over $314,000 with an average days to sell of 34 days. In 2021, that increased from 314 to 356.
Okay.
Days on market decreased from 34 to 18.
Wow.
In 2022, we increased from 356 to 388.
Still going up.
And the average days increased to 25, from 14 to 18 to 25. In 2023, we had our first decrease. It went from 388 to 350.
Okay.
And days on market increased from 25 to 40.
Got it.
In 2024, we decreased from 350 to 332. Days on market increased to 47. And so far this year, we've actually decreased on homes under an acre from 332, or a high point of 388 in 2022, to 309.
Yep.
And the days on market has doubled since 2022. We were at 51 days.
Now, here's what I would tell you just as a gut response to that. Great time to buy.
Yeah.
Great time to buy because this area is going to continue to go nuts. It's going to continue to be super popular. It's going to continue to be within a reasonable drive. Great community, generally lower price point, lots of options for acreage property.
Plenty of planned things happening out there for building stuff. Like it's going to...
Lots of building companies. You got great youth sports. You have great city engagement. They do a big 4th of July fireworks thing. It's really, really great. The city's super, super active in almost all 3 of those cities. Wylie does some really cool stuff on the old downtown Wylie Drag. Murphy does really, really cool city park, city Christmas tree lighting type stuff. Sachse's got the multiple great outdoor parks and a super active Parks and Rec deal. Safe area, highly regarded. Now you make your own decisions on schools and safety and all that stuff, but generally thought of as a very desirable area. All 3 of those cities that make up one really great community in Northeast DFW. Wylie Sachse Murphy, check it out. We're telling you, statistically speaking, a great time to buy. If you're a backyard person, if you're a neighborhood person, if you're looking for a kind of holistic community that kind of has it all. Honestly, there were times where I lived in parts of Richardson where I had less restaurant and shopping options than you do in this Wylie Sachse Murphy area. It feels farther out, but it's just so well resourced. It's a great place to be. And whether that's true of neighborhood, there's a lot of new apartments out there. There's some great food out there. By the way, Farah is a lesser known restaurant that's one of my all-time favorites that's actually at Firewheel in Garland. And then they just opened a Farah's Cantina right on the edge of Sachse and Wylie. That's kind of a barbecue Tex-Mex deal that's really, really good. And there's a bunch of other cool stuff out there. So check out Wylie Sachse Murphy. We know it's 3 cities. We think of it as one great community and an awesome place to live.